Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Louis Nishba Asar Yaakov Sholem and Leah Bas Yitzchok. We're holding in Basra Daf Kuf Lamed Gimel. Very interesting Tzura Sadaf, just to point that out. They have here this huge Rishbam in the right, and then we have a Gemara in the middle. But the Maise, the Daf that we did yesterday, for those who joined us, we did the Daf until we basically got to the end of the discussion, the three cases that the Gemara brought, and we got the Kaf Kuf Lamed Gimel and Dalaf on top. So the Gemara now says like this: Omar Ravuno. Omar Ravuno is 7 lines from the top, 8 lines, right? 7 lines from the top. Omar Ravuno. That's really a new sugi. Until there, the previous sugi goes. Omar Ravuno shchimera shekosav kol nechosov leacher. So the person, a shchimera, is about to die, and he writes all his nechosim to somebody else. Im roi liyoshoi noit lemishum yerusha, v'im lav noit lemishum matana. So meaning, if he is a yoirish, a proper yoirish, he's an inherit, someone who is roi to be yoirish. So you say the way he got these nechasim is through Yerush. And if it's not a proper Yerush, so he gets a matana. Now what's the between Yerush and matana? The Gemara is going to address in one moment. Right now the Gemara just says, if he could be a Yerush, assume he's a Yerush. He can't be a Yerush, he's a matana. So what does he understand? What are you trying to tell me? What is the Chiddush of Nachas trying to tell me? Mashma, now let's go back a second to our Mishnah, into the discussion of their Mishnah. What is the machlekes in our Mishnah between Rabbanan and Rabbi Yochanan ben Breiko according to the maskana of the Gemara? The machlekes is, if one has a few boys, a few children, and he wants to give to one more than the other, can he do that or not? But one says you can't. Yerusha, there's only one way of Yerusha, and that's how the Torah says it. If you want to do it otherwise, it's not a Yerusha anymore. It's a matana, it's a redistribution. That's how Rabbanan learned. Yochanan ben Breiko says no. As long as you're doing between the boys, so then you can redistribute it and it's fine. So according to Yochanan ben Breiko, I can do a Yerusha, not exactly the Yerusha of the Torah, as long as it is a royal Yerusha. So it says the Gemara over here, what's this? This is the shad over here. If I have in this case, he's giving it to somebody who's royal Yerusha, so then I say it's a Yerusha. And if not, not. Masha, even though I'm not doing it the way the Torah is doing it, that's not what's the Chiddush. So you say, look at Yochanan ben Breiko. This is going now very stark kalosha. Why are you trying to hide yourself? Why are you trying to, quote unquote, cheat the system? Meaning, why are you hiding behind, if someone dies, you want to tell me a Chiddush like a Yochanan ben Breiko that can redistribute it and give it to one son out of another? You want to tell me just say that. The way you're saying right now is like Yochanan ben Breiko. What Yochanan is saying? That the only way to do in other words, that you have the ability to redistribute the chasim, and if he's a Yerush, it's going to work. Says maybe it goes on the following. What? It wasn't, they just said a random case. Oh, you should know that I can do it. That's really basically what you're telling me is that you want to do Yochanan ben Breiko, so just say Yochanan ben Breiko. So we're talking about a case. Who is this person about to die? They went to him and says, Shmerel, who do you want to give your nechasi to? Do you want to give it to Beryl? Of course, obviously. Beryl is the one I love the most. If it's his son, and it can be his Yerush, in other words, that's what you spoke about. That's the case. Meaning, when we're quoting the Ravuno, it seems like this is my interpretation, just to add it. The Rav Nachman got the Shmuel, got the rumor that Ravuno said this way. Was it no? Ravuno never said it. Ravuno said it on a case. Somebody asked, there was an actual Maisa Shahoyo Kachai. There was a person who was about to die. And he said this is the case. So Ravuno said the halacha. Yeah, he passed the Yochanan ben Breiko because of the case boy. In other words, if he said, this goes back to what we learned earlier in the Davim. If you're learning in Besperdish and you want to say halacha, just say halacha. But if you talk about a case, I understand. You told me the case, that's the halacha. Yeah. Omalei in hachinami kamino. That's what I said. So what is the chiluk between if he's a yoirish or matana? Soba Rav Ado Barava Kamei Derova Lameimar Im Royal Yorsho, if he's a yoirish, so then the widow will be fed from the nechasim. Because that's clear. Usually when you have someone, you give a gift. Reuven gives a gift to Shimon. The wife of the Reuven doesn't eat from the nechasim of Shimon. So, but if it's a son, she does. So that's what I'm saying. If it's a yoirish, the almana will eat from it. If not. Amalei Rava Migrigora. You want to tell she goes out? How should be Yerusha Deraisa or Matamanos and Izos Minchasov? Yerusha Deraisa, we said that money can eat from the Nechasim. B'matana derabon lekoshken. What to tell derabon, as the Rashbam points out right here, and this will be a sugya of Hashem in 2 weeks. That Shchimira is a derabon. Rabbanon misakin that Shchimira can give a gift. So it can be the Rabbanon will diminish the ability of the Almana by Shchimira. If a deraisa Almana gets to the Chasim, gets to the Zaynis, so Koshka B'Shchimira that she gets to the Zaynis. So that's clear. It doesn't matter if it's a matana or a yerusha, because even if it's a matana, it's a din derabbanan. Ela Amarava Kedesholach Rav Acho Baravayo Ladiv Recha Bebreiko. According to Recha Bebreiko, because this is what we saw before. Nechosai Lecho VeAcharecho Leploini. You have a person that says, "I'm giving the nechasim to Reuven." After Reuven dies, it goes to Shimon. After Shimon dies, it goes to Levi. If the first one is a son, so then it doesn't go to Sheni. Why not? Shein ze lo shematana el lo yerusha, because then it's a yerusha. The yerusha ain't lehefsek. That's something we saw already earlier. The Gemara mentioned this cloud. Yerusha has no stop. Something that comes as inheritance. That means the Torah said the Yerusha is his. It belongs to the person, to the son, or anybody who's Yerusha. Yerusha ain't lehefsek. Yerusha does not stop. It doesn't just go for one person and then goes to somebody else. The Rashbam points out what we learned earlier. What? What is yours? And it goes to the first in, what's the word? First in kin, right? The first closest family member, right? So in other words, Nachlom Meshameshes Vorleches Ad Reuven. It goes up to Reuven. I'm going to go to anybody in the family. I'm going to look for the first family member, but it stays by me. It doesn't. Oh, it's only by you. Then we take it out. So you may if you say Loshen Yerusha, once you say Loshen Yerusha, it belongs to the person. You can't take it away. So if he said, I'm giving it to Reuven as a gift, and then I'm giving it to Shimon, and then when Reuven dies, I'll pass it on to Shimon as a gift. And when Shimon dies to Levi, then it works. But if it goes to Reuven as a Yerusha, then you cannot say, I'll give it to Shimon afterwards. So if it's someone who's worried to be Yerusha, it becomes a Yerusha, it doesn't pass on, that's enough to mean if it's a Yerusha or Matana.
You said earlier that if in the same will he has Yerusha and a will.
And Matana.
You can have both in there.
Yeah, because then it's all Matana. Right.
Why can't you say that?
No, because here we're talking about that it's not because of the problem of Yerusha Matana. Here we're talking about that he used Loshen Yerusha improperly. He did Yerusha, it's not Yerusha. So we say because it said Matana, it works. But here, when you're using Yerusha properly, you don't change it. What do you mean? He stopped. He stopped giving Reuven only for one generation. This person who's giving, he thinks I have the ability to give a Yerusha and then stop it after one generation. The Torah says you can't do that. That's called matna. The Rashbam points out. It's called matna al mashkos b'Torah. You're going against the Torah. Torah says Yerusha and lehefsek. Once you have Yerusha, it stays. Continues the Gemara of Kufla Megillah on the base at that. Chavez's person told his friend, Nechosai lecho v'acharecha leploin. Right? So that's the case, the same case. So I'm giving it to you, Reuven, and afterwards, Shimon, after you die, goes to Shimon. For Rishon, royally Yarshav. Rishon was a son, or if he doesn't have a son, his brother, anybody who's the first one was supposed to Yerush. Shachim Rishon, the first one died. Also, Sheni Katavu. So comes the second one, said, 1 second, he gifted to me after the death of the first. But we just learned you can't do that. Savar of Ilish Kamei Deroba Lamema Sheni Nami Shokil. He was about to pass him that the second one gets it. Because he said, Acharecha. So the Gemara Amalei told him, Ravo, Dayono, the Chatzatzto Achidaini. This din, the way you want to do it, only Dayono the Chatzatzto do. Who's Dayono Chatzatzto? Right? The Rashbam says, either Dayono Pshara, Shein Beki Medin. They don't know the halacha, so they do some kind of a pshara. They do mechzo, or base kvaris, the yonim of the graveyard. In other words, it wasn't a very nice nickname to give him. Isn't that the story we just learned right now? That once you say Yerusha, you can't pass it on? Ichsif. So what happened was, Rav Elish got embarrassed. Says the Gemara, interesting pasuk. Pasuk usually we know from Mashiach. It says over here. What does it mean? So the Rashbam learns this way. Look at the Rashbam, last Rashbam for the Mishnah. Whoever comes to comfort him. Ani Hashem b'itach Hishenu. Be'et tzadikim tzrichim liyeshua, HaKadosh Baruch Hu memtzi olem. When the tzadikim need Yeshua, who brings it to them. I know they usually don't make mistakes. So Rav Elish was embarrassed in what way? And this is really what I was talking before. He felt, look at this. The one time doing a din in front of my Rebbe Rava, he catches me that I don't know what I'm talking about. He probably thinks I always make mistakes. So I told him, Rava, no. The fact that I caught you before you did the Psak Halacha, that means that Kodesh Baruch Hu tried to prevent you for saying something wrong. That means you always say it right. Sometimes you need here biito. Sometimes it's biito. Sometimes it's chisheno. Sometimes it comes when you need the Yeshua comes biito. Sometimes it comes a little faster before you need it. Before you made a mistake, Kodesh Baruch Hu came and brought you Yeshua. In order for you not to make a mistake, that means you usually don't make a mistake. That's how the Rashbam learns. There's other perushim over here regarding this idea. And the Chassasefer brings, that's what it means. And it's feels of Yechudim ben Akano, it says that he goes, Ishloyam al Torah Tomeh val Tomeh Torah, v'yispechu b'chaveroi. V'shloy kashem v'alacha, v'yispechu b'chaveroi. So Pasha Pshat in words is, there should not be that I made a mistake at halacha, and my friends will make fun of me. That's a Pasha Pshat in the Gemara and Brachos up there. Please help me not to make a mistake. And my friends will make fun of me. No, you will make fun of someone made a mistake. Says the Chassasefer Pshat is a pure Gemara. I'm going to make a mistake. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to have to save me with my friends. And my friends will have to stop me in the last second. They'll be very happy they're able to stop me. Don't bring me to that simcha that I was almost made a mistake and they stopped me. Let me say it the right way the first time, so I don't bring such a simcha. That simcha that I'm about to make a mistake. That's what Chassasefer explains like more based on our Gemara. So the Mishnah. HaKoisev is nechosav la'acher. Someone gives his nechosim la'acher. V'iniach es bonov. In other words, he changed the will of the Torah. And he gave it to somebody else. Masha osa osui. Ela ein ruach chachomim noicha imenu. He did what he did was right. He can do it. He has the right to do it. But chachomim are not very happy with him. The first we discuss why they not know chachomim. Look at the Rashbam. Just one lashon we'll see of the Rashbam. In ruach chachomim noicha imenu ein lechachomim nachasuach v'maisov. Ela chalrin af koyem them shekoyosim the kaokar nachla doraisa. He's taking away the Torah, gave you a nachla, and you're changing it. So they're not very happy with him. What?
It doesn't work.
No, not Lashon Yerusha. Lashon Torah Kedu. Yeah. If the kids are not good kids, very good what you did. So the more Yibailu, mi polag Rabbon Aleda B'Shem Gamliel Oloi. Rabbanon argue, Shem Gamliel didn't argue. Meaning, is Rabbanon saying that even if the kids are bad, don't take it away from them? Or they're not arguing. Rabbanon says don't take it away from a good kid. Shem Gamliel says if it's a bad kid, it's no machlekes. Says the Gemara Toshma. The Yosef ben Yoezer Yalu ben Shelo Ayanoy Kishur. Yosef ben Yoezer brings a story. Yosef ben Yoezer had a son who was not acting properly. Havale Iliso Didinri. So the expression is he had a attic full of money, full of dinarim. The Torah says it's a guzma. It means a big shear of money. Kam Agdisho. He went and he was magdish to Hagdish. So I'm not giving it to my son. My son, I'm giving it to Hagdish. Ozol Nosiv Bad Gadil Kelili Dione Alanko. This son went and married a daughter of the one who prepares the jewels, the crown of the king. Olido Visayu, right? His wife gave birth. He didn't have a lot of money. So what did he buy her as a gift? Zabilo Biniso. He brought her a fish. Karo. He opened up the fish. Ashikach Bo Magaliso. He found in it a precious jewel. The son. Omelay, so told him the wife. The wife was very versed in the dealings of jewelry because her father was the crown's jeweler. Omelay, don't give it to the king. Sell it to them. They're going to buy it from you at a very cheap price. Zil antio legabe gizbori. Go bring it to the gizborim of Hegdish. Don't do it yourself. Don't say, this value I'm giving to you. The meaning I'm saying, give it to you to Hegdish, is as if you market to Hegdish. So here the Rishonim were very busy with it, because where exactly was Amirosol Gavoya? He's just giving them to evaluate. But okay, let's assume right now, he said, giving to Hegdish, don't say anything before you do it. They should go and value the jewel. So he brought it. The value of this jewel was 13 aliyers of dinar, 13 measurements of money. They told him, listen, we would love to buy it. Why are we buying this? We're buying this to put it in the choshen. We'll see, if you have a little time, we'll see in a moment, once we get to the end of the daf, what the Rashbam says about it. He says, but we want to buy it, says the Ekdish. But we don't have 13 Elisa. We don't have 13 storages of money. We have only 7. We have 7. Sheva Iko Shiti Leika. I have 7, not 6. Amalu Shavu Sheva Havuli Sheis Arei Mugdosh L'Shalayim. You say, you know what? No problem. Let's do like this. I will give you, you'll give me 7 aliyahs, 7 attics, and the rest, I'm giving Hegdish. I'm giving a gift to Hegdish. I'll do because so they wrote and they stood and wrote, where the writer's Ram explains that they used to write their documents, the registry of Hegdish. The father gave 1 alisa of money, and this son gave 6 because he gave the value of 6. Some say some have a different ikadami. The opposite. He gave 1, he took out 7 because he asked the Hegdish to pay 7. What's the exactly. What is the difference between the two Lashonis? The first Lashon says is a Lashon Shlach. Look what a great kid this is. He gave 6, let's call it, just for our purposes, for at least let's call it $1 million. He gave $7 million to Hegdish. He gave $7 million to Hegdish. So, I mean, he gave $6 million to Hegdish because it was worth 13. Hegdish paid him 7. 6, he gave it to Hegdish. Wow. The other Mandama says, whoa, but he asked for 7. What's the problem? Says the Rashbam, he shouldn't take from Hegdish all the money of Hegdish. They told him, if you go into the treasures of Hegdish, all you will find is $7 million. Not more. He says, give me everything. She said, listen, Hegdish needs money. Take 5. It's a mitzvah. You found it in the street. You have to take the full amount of the Hegdish has. So some say it l'shvach, and some say it l'gnai. Exactly like Noach. Says the Gemara, the bando. First one says he brought in money. Chal the Shavi did good. Says the Gemara, the Rabbo, other Rabbo. If you want to go to the Ikodam, he says he did something wrong. Now what is the limit we want to learn from here? Because the question is, what was the purpose of the story? The father saw that the son is not acting properly. So what did he do? He took his money, gave it to Hegdish. What happened in the end? That's the question. According to the first Ikadami, the son came such a tzaddik, not only gave 1, he gave 6. So you see the father was wrong to take away the money. You see this kid at the end of the day turned to be good. Or it's the opposite. The father was right. Look how bad the kid was. He took 7 out from Hegdish. So the father's right, take it away from him. So one's trying to bring a riot to both ends, it doesn't bring a riot.
It's not a riot of anything. Just the story is just...
No, the question is, what was the purpose? Why are we trying to bring that?
Yeah, but the purpose is to say where the father was right in trusting his kid. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about the lacha. You can just give away.
No. The shaila is, can you take away from a person who's a bit? So here he took it away from one. He took away his nachla. Shaila is, you give him a shvach, you give him a gnan.
Maybe hektish is different.
The one didn't say that. Okay, maybe you could argue that it's different. Said the Gemara, my Avialos, so what was the maskana? Toshra normally Shmuel le'avyudo. Shmuel told Avyudo, Shirina as Loshen Chibo, Le'tehave iburi be'iburi achsanta. Don't be in a place where they transfer inheritance. Ve'afilu mibar bishal bar tavo. Even from a bad kid to a good kid. Coach can be brought about. Of course, not from a son to a daughter. So don't do it. You change nachad right, so it's improper to do it, and that's what's going on. The Rabbanan argue showing him. Now, just to end, to conclude, the last nakuda over here before when we end the daf is what was Hegdish doing with this jewel. So if you look at the Rashbam says, it says like this. Look at the Rashbam is Divamatchi leg gizbar. The gizbar, the last part of the narrow lines. What did he do with it? The gizbar Hegdish. V'kacheno le'avnei eifrit. Put it for the avodim with the eifrit. Then he debat le'urim v'tumim l'shobem. Even though there's no urim v'tumim to ask questions. Because why? This is by Sheni. By Sheni there wasn't urim v'tumim. Kodem shem l'chaber ad shavol Mashiach. Eifrit v'choshim yeh lobotlu then kohen godlu mishamesh v'lo yishponem godlu. So he says, yeah, but they still had the stones. They didn't use it as urim v'tumim. But they still have the stone, yet they have the stones because you have to have shvonim kodim. This is a big mechuyah to shaynim. It's mechuyah the Rambam and the Ravid. Did they have these stones or not? Is there any purpose for the stones if you do not use it for imetuim? Is there any purpose of the stones just as a begodim? Is it part of a beged, or it's only a jewel? Is it part of the beged, or the beged is the only thing that holds it? But what is the imetuim? Is the imetuim the stones, or the imetuim is the shem Hashem which is in it? Big discussion in the Rishonim. This opens a very interesting sugya. The Rashbam here tells us that by Sheni they still had the stones. And we have another raya to this. What's the other raya? Story by Sheni. When we have a story of a stone that was missing in Beis Hamikdash, they had to fill out the stone. Someone was sleeping on the stone. Dama Menasino. Dama Menasino was the guy, his father, they had a very beautiful stone, and the father was sleeping and didn't want to wake him up. Right? The whole story, Kibbutz Avein, that he had over there. So that's another raya that you have the story with Sheni, but it's a big discussion that we're sharing, and this is one of the rayas. We'll continue from here tomorrow.